Alright, Scorpio. Scorpio. We are going to get into your collective reading. And we are actually, I'm excited to at least bring this tarot deck out. This is an old one of mine. You can see it's a little roughed up in some spots. I actually ran over one of the cards, but this is a deck that I feel like needs character and has a lot of character. So we're bringing in some oldish energy from the past, but it feels like not like a blast from the past, like something that is always enjoyable, that you used to enjoy a lot in the past. Could be this energy, because that's usually like the vibe I get from this tarot deck. This one I love on its own. Personally, I don't like it like art style wise, but I understand it and I get it and I love its aesthetic for the readings I've gotten out of this deck. So, real quick before we start, we're gonna clarify with that one. This one's gonna be our main deck. We're gonna pull 3 cards from, and then we're gonna clarify those 3 cards with another deck. And this is going to be for the collective of Scorpio placements. So, for anyone who's aware, the silly little birth charts everyone be talking about these days has to do with, you know, we're not just, I'm a Taurus, I'm a Leo, that's our sun sign. We could be many other things, and that isn't just the sun sign, because then that's when people say, for my case, I'm a Taurus sun, a Leo rising, and a Gemini moon. If you know any of that stuff, please have discernment in this reading. Otherwise, don't worry about the placements. Just listen in, have your own sense of discernment, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. All that fun stuff. I trust all of you because you're all big kids, okay? I believe. Get into Scorpio collective. What's going on for Scorpios? Clear, honest message, please. I feel like the Crow Tarot really wants to... Ooh, we're trading. Listen, we have to share. These tarot decks have personalities, and that Crow Tarot is like, listen, I could do the whole reading just myself. There's a certain energy that really wants to talk. But it's also like, what I'm kind of generally picking up right now for Scorpios is, we all have like 2 sides of us, but it could just be multiple sides. And there's an energy of like understanding and recognizing both sides. Not really liking what you hear from both sides, but you're like, hey, okay, they're there. And while this obviously is playing out a lot in politics in America right now, I'm going to preface this, whatever you see externally, Scorpio, this is a big synchronicity for you internally. And this is where true Scorpios are going to recognize this and be a little like, I feel like some Scorpios, if you know a Scorpio and they seem a little disassociated, it's like they're okay. There's just a lot in here that they're needing to like sit with and just like understand. And that's really what a lot of you are, I feel like, trying to do with it. Let's get some cards out. Why am I just talking? I trust myself, but I like the cards. The cards help me at least tap into the physical energy of it. That's where I feel like the real magic happens, is when you, I get literal, like, images of cards in my head, and, like, tarot card images, and it's kind of how I'm able to decipher a lot of, like, my messages that I receive. from my trusted sources. Sure. Why? This was one of the first cards that popped in my head. You can take my word for it or not. I really don't care, but that's kind of why I just had the reaction I did. So this seeing two sides of the coin that is you is this big energy of how you cultivate your ideas in the idea stage and planning stage, and then how you cultivate the planning into action, and also seeing how to use this methodology for those two sides of the self. There's like the internal self, the external self. If you want to dumb it down in that way, it's like the thoughts and feelings you have inside of you, and the things you do outside. Like, I'm gonna pick up my phone, do things, go to work, go to whatever, hang out with friends. Like, that's the external stuff. This energy, for spiritual terms, for anyone who understands the spiritual terms of it, this could be either yin and yang, ego and higher self, or when we come to the yin and yang, this is a lot of divine masculine and divine feminine energies. But there's nothing like, there's no gender associated with the masculine and feminine energy. It is the archetype. I fucked up the word. Archetypal. Fuck. It's the archetype is what I'm trying to say. I can't. My mouth can't word the word that I think y'all know what I'm trying to say. The energy of archetypes is so important because it removes like let's say it removes the idea of whether it's a human being or not. These could be like two birds in the forest, and they could be going through borderline a divorce just through a bird language, and it's just the archetype of these certain energies that play out that are in any sort of, I would say, conscious being state of mind. And this is where a lot of you are getting very ooh, I was gonna say spiritually awoken, but it doesn't have to be like a boom, a spiritual awakening. It just could be like a spiritual awakening of yourself. Like, it could just be of yourself and how you have lived your life and observed the world around you up until this point, and a rush of new perspectives coming in. Because I split the deck and we have Queen of Swords and the Judgment, two very enlightening cards, and we're just gonna continue because whatever wants to come out, come out. What does Scorpio need to hear for their highest good? What is going on? We're gonna get really, like, cryptic here. Ooh. That makes a lot of sense. The Moon. Queen of Wands, the Moon. What's the last card here? King of Swords. We have the Magician on the bottom of the deck, but in this deck they call it the Alchemist. I like all the different names all the tarot decks come up with. I think, okay, the Magician in reverse literally gives me the energy of you collectively, like, sitting here like, so I got these tools and I got these ideas and, oh, there's like 1,000,001 ways to go about this, isn't there? Well, shit, I'm gonna be here a while, and then that's where Queen of Wands, the Moon, King of Swords comes in. The Moon I always like to talk about the description of the moon in almost every tarot card, or at least one that follows like the base picture and description. I'm just gonna say base, like standard, quote unquote, uh, standard moon card meaning, because moon cards can be interpreted in various ways, just for tarot. There's this path, and you can see the sun is kind of setting, or maybe even rising, or somewhat, whatever. Who knows? This land in the tarot cards is kind of this mystical, dreamlike land where it's just a bunch of storytelling for now. And if you resonate with certain things, well, that's on you. We're telling stories here in the tarot world. You are along this path, and the moon is the only thing that is lighting your way along this path. If you were to stray off and go into like the brush or the forest, you would have no idea what could even be in the grass. Like, it's like you can just barely see your feet if you're not along this path that is illuminated by this metaphorical moonlight that is essentially your mind shining light onto a lot of darker parts of your mind that you necessarily haven't thought about in a while, don't think about in a while, don't really choose to think about, whether it's like, oh, okay, I just don't really want to think about this because I'm busy, or whatever life throws at you, or you just forget and just don't know. Like, forgetting or just not knowing. There's always something in the shadows of our mind that lurks in the sense of gaining knowledge for our own mind. This is where this energy can feel like a make it or break it, in the sense of it feels so scary to walk through this dark part of your mind because there's a lot of not so nice things in there, not so good feelings. Damn, I wish, coulda, woulda, shoulda, yada, yada, yada. All this stuff in the mind that just keeps on. Because memories, I feel like it's just like your voice and how you feel about memories. And you're like, yeah, I understand it. I just rather not feel this emotion because we understand this and we've overcome it. And we've moved on. And it's like, the part of you that needs to cry or needs to get this shit out of you needs to happen. And it sucks, but it's also like when we get a fucking paper cut, and it's like, let's say, oh, I hate thinking of this, but it's like a paper cut in between your fingers. Ooh. And you have to at least make sure you're not gonna like stretch your fingers and like break it open again, and then it has to heal again, and you break it open again, it has to heal again. It's like making sure, okay, you have the bandages here properly, and if you take your time and give yourself the space to handle these things that come up, I think this is where all of this is becoming a big sense of enlightenment, because I think most of you Scorpios want to be comfortable. Like, you want to be comfortable in this scenario. And the thing that I think is making you the most comfortable is understanding that the moonlight is not even the moon that is providing the light. There is a bit of sun behind this light. That's the whole reason the moon is lit to begin with, is that there's a warm, shining sun on the other side of the earth somewhere, which means that a new day will dawn for you if you continue along this lit path. And I feel like in this metaphor, for anyone who's not really like well versed or imaginative when I'm describing these metaphors, I want to describe as this moonlight as you just thinking. You're like, oh, I am now thinking about this. That is the stage of your mind. Everything else going on in the back of your mind is shit like you're breathing, you're just looking, you're blinking, you're walking, like just general, like, all right, your body's digesting things, it's doing stuff in the background. But the stage of your mind is what is really just, oh, I am now thinking about this in the moment. This is what is on the mind. And it doesn't matter how imaginative you are, because I know some people can't really picture things in their mind too much. Some people can, some people can't, like, kind of. I know I've met some people who kind of struggle. So, when you at least acknowledge, hey, there is a, like, stage in my mind, there is a forefront of the mind of, hey, here are my initial thoughts. And then there's stuff going on in the background. This is the awareness of what is essentially considered, in spiritual terms, the conscious and the subconscious. But this idea that, oh, there's things going on in the background and I am on, like, at least on the stage of the mind, I think you're asking yourself, what can you do to really shine this light so... Ooh. Shine this light in your mind so it can bring you a comfortable, calm, forward sense of direction to those darker parts of your mind. Because part of this path is in the shadows there. I feel like some of you are essentially understanding this big metaphor I'm bringing up, which, oh my goodness, we have divine feminine, divine masculine energies here, and also the magician is the motherfucker to, excuse my French, bring those two energies together and use all the tools at hand and hold. Please hold. Please hold. King of Swords, after going through this path, the King of Swords feels like a true... At least this card feels very Scorpio energy, like a true Scorpio. What I mean by true Scorpio is a true aware Scorpio. You don't have to be perfect, but you're truly aware of yourself. And thinking how much your awareness and self-awareness can, will, and has provided so much for you. And I can't even just say abundance. Because while it's abundant, it's an abundance of so many things that are even indescribable, like irreplaceable, and not even like tangible. It's something of love, kind of like when you truly love somebody, how do you like prove that, kind of a thing? I feel like for anyone who finds someone that they love or knows, like, cares for somebody, it doesn't even have to like be like a spouse, it could just be like a friend or a family member. Like, you can't describe a bond in that like intangible thing. So I think this is even the bond that's also being recognized within yourself. You can't separate the conscious from the subconscious. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be part of your awareness of, hey, you have a subconscious over here, and it's doing things, whether you like it or not. Because that's how the human brain works, isn't that? We love that, right? Because it's silly to tell somebody it's all in your head, when most of the time they're kind of fucking correct, but not in the way you want them to be, because that's just rude the way they say it. When you say it's all in your head, you can say it's all in your head of, yes, it feels fucking crazy sometimes up in the brain in here. With all the shit that's going on in the background, I don't know what's going on backstage. I'm trying to perform on the stage here. And if I'm hearing clattering and glass breaking, but I know the audience can't hear it, I gotta make sure my stage is good, but also, what the fuck just happened back there? There is an awareness of, at least, hey, some shit broke, or at least some shit broke backstage, metaphorically. And it's like, oh, hey, I'm aware of this random thing of, I hate to say trauma, the past, either current events, like dots you're connecting about different things in your life, aspirations you have that you're trying to pursue. There's just like a little ting of awareness, and it's like, oh, I should probably think about that and plan accordingly. And making sure you do so is the big advice. But there's so much that I feel like Either we're gonna get into a really long reading for Scorpio, or we're gonna repeat ourselves with the clarification. There's so much like esoteric energy here that I feel like some of you will know what I'm talking about, and some of you I feel like may or may not need to ask. You can ask me what feels like stupid questions. I don't think they're stupid. I'm sitting here wanting to try and dumb down the very metaphorical spiritual nonsense that's not really nonsense. You're really trying to understand it, and I know you are, but there's a lot of information that kind of at least needs to just be, it's like learning like 2 + 2 = 4 kind of a thing. Most spiritual people understand the concept of ego and higher self and divine feminine and masculine kind of concepts and archetypes and all that stuff. Like metaphors in the spiritual community are very common, so people are more understanding to kind of decipher them in certain ways than the average person would. So I want to at least help people like decipher these metaphors, because it's not as like woo woo as it sounds when people kind of sound like fluffy with it. I'm like, I don't think people really get what you're saying, and that's okay, because some people will, but I know that there's a lot of people that want to learn and just don't understand, and that's okay. So if you truly aren't understanding these spiritual topics, there is always room and no judgment from me. And if I catch anyone judging anyone, I'll take care of it, don't you worry. But there is no judgment in any question that is asked. I just ask that you be respectful about it, you know? We can even ask the tarot silly questions. There's a lot of freedom in this. I don't want you guys to feel like it has to be super serious and professional and always empowering and whatever. Like, let's get real here. I knew it. I saw it for a second. I was like, hold on, is that the moon? That was on the bottom of the deck. If it wants to come out, it will come out. Queen of Wands. 3 cards for the Queen of Wands here. Page of Pentacles. Ooh. Page of Pentacles, the Tower. What else? We have a card of naive learning and understanding, but being aware that, hey, I'm new to this thing. I don't have a lot of experience, but I have a lot of knowledge under my belt, and maybe I could use that and gain more experience. And boom, you had a wake-up call for sure. I think this was maybe even a planned one, because you knew something big like this would happen. And I think this is where a lot of big structures are falling, in the sense of feeling almost locked down. There's a sense of this tower breaking free and all of these crows just like scattering about, almost as if they were like trapped in the tower and now they're free again. I feel like that's your soul and that's your spirit. Like, this has provided you with so much sense of like, I think that's the scary part and the nerve-wracking part in all of this, is like, you feel good for once, and good about exploring your own mind. There's so much that you feel so open to. I was gonna say so good about, but now I feel the need to say so open to, because of the Fool card here. The Fool is that new beginning. The Fool always represents the human who's just off on a new adventure, and they can't explain what is calling them towards it, but it just feels so a part of their soul. I don't know how else to explain it other than it feels like a part of your soul, a part of your calling, a part of something that will be returned to you, because I think you found a home with a lot of maybe people, places, and things. And maybe there's just a lot of people you want to still provide that home for. And you will. Ah! I think this is also with the self. I want everyone to even just like for a second, hey, if you can't think of any people in your life that this is pertaining to, think of the self. Because we all have different parts of ourselves in the sense of the memories that we have and that we hold and at least close to us is really what makes us as a human being. And like the memories that we hold and that we share is what makes us as a human being. So if you feel like you have different parts of you that are speaking, it could be different parts of your memories and soul per se. Not just soul, but like, hey, this you in back when you were this age, and then when you were this age. Clarifying the moon is the Hierophant. The Hierophant, the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Ooh, the Magician. We have the Magician again. Just checking one thing. That is a-okay. One second. I'm like, I got so much to say, but hold on. Clarifying the moon, we have the Hierophant, the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. What doesn't make you feel good won't last for you, and you know that. You know committing to what isn't going to be good for you isn't going to last, isn't going to provide longevity and even more fiery ideas in the future. So I feel like if you need to maybe give it up to not necessarily God or faith, whatever you want to believe in, whatever keeps you having faith in something. Keeping your eye on that prize is allowing this real like sense of faith and belief in yourself and how you can bring back this old energy within you. I think this older energy is like you can bring back past like energies, like past memories you had that you're like, oh, this was like such a fun time, and oh, I used to be so whimsical back then, or so just like more happy and stuff, and you're maybe starting to feel like you have a choice to be that happy again. And that's the thing, like we have a choice here. We have two sides of the coin. The choice to sit with, well, we may not be that happy ever again, and the choice of we could totally be that happy again. And it all just takes as a single step forward in what could we do in our adult life that is giving us this whimsical sense of fun that feels literally like inner child shit. Like inner child stuff doesn't necessarily have to be your childhood. It can be your teenage years, it could be your 20s, it could be your 30s even. Depending on how old you are, it doesn't have to be something that you hold like near and dear to your specific childhood. It could be something that you were like freaking 13 years old and you just went to this like one hobby thing and you just loved it and you didn't really get into it and you're not really sure if you'd get into it, but like let's say you don't have to know anything about cars to enjoy car shows and car meets and all that stuff. You don't have to know anything about it to enjoy the moment of it and enjoy the community and the sense of just like like, hey, we're all here gathered around our shared experience and like a niche hobby kind of a thing. There is a sense of community in that, and I think that's the thing that really brings you a sense of joy. And I think this is going to bring you the real idea of we can still choose joy in our lives. We can even create it. We take a hold of one of these ideas and we grab it and we hold it on tight and we use all the tools we have around us, gaining all the knowledge we've had so far, just to create some fun in the moment. But not in the moment, it's to create fun that also will have actions, like actions you take in life that also create longevity in creating more fun in the future, in creating more sense of joy and sense of I think passion for living in life in the future. Last card for King of Swords here. High Priestess reversed. And Page of Swords on the bottom of the deck. You are taking off with this new idea of enlightenment, and it's really propelling you into this new sense of self. And I want to say, be so fucking proud of yourself. Please, anytime you feel this sense of joy and you're like, holy fuck, I feel free again for a moment, you deserve it. You deserve that feeling. I can't express enough otherwise. Do not be afraid to enjoy even the freedom of independence you have now, because I think knowing that some of you could be in this era and this stage in life where there's like a lone wolf energy because you've watched people come and go, or you've watched people like it feels weirdly enough like the movie Perks of Being a Wallflower, where it's a story about a freshman who doesn't have any friends, and then he makes friends with seniors, and he basically watches the seniors like leave the nest, and he has to stay in high school the whole time. So it feels a little like you can enjoy your independence and still have the friends ended up coming back and still hanging out with like their freshman friend, and it was still a good time. Like, there was this sense of knowing that you can still make memories with things that you let go, people that you let go of just because life moves on and life happens, and you can let them go, and these things will come back and you can enjoy them tenfold. Because what is clarifying the King of Swords, and what is highlighting it, because it's 9 of Pentacles reversed, 3 of Cups, and the High Priestess. 3 of Cups is this joy, and underneath this joy, because underneath it is the only 2 cards reversed, is the sense of independence and this intuitive knowledge that everything is probably going to be okay, is what you're telling yourself. Well, if we let this go and it's going to come back, and it came back before and we still enjoyed it, we can still let it go and it can still come back to us, and we can still enjoy the times that we share and have shared. And it can still be as fun as it was way back when. Like, there's so much in this that's like everything could be just as fun as it was in the past. Like, you're missing out on an opportunity if you don't think so. I can't even, like, that's not even me saying that. I can't stress enough of you are missing out on an opportunity if you don't think that you can choose to have the same amount of joy and happiness that you had when you were younger, whatever age you were, whatever younger version you were, 5 minutes ago even. So, I'm gonna leave you all on that. Unfortunately, if anyone was watching on Twitch, Twitch said this to Twitch. Twitch said this to my stream. But the recording is fine. So, YouTube, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed the reading. And if you want to come watch my stream, I think this will be uploaded in time during October. So, it is also almost Scorpio season. It's still Libra season. Oh, I forgot to say happy birthday to some Leos. Or not Leos, Libras. We're all mixed up today. Just like Twitch right now. Thank you for being here. I am going to end this on you. You got this. You have this. You have everything literally in the bag, and you have this like key to your future sitting in your hand, and all you need to do is almost like it's almost like you have the key to this opportunity in your hand, but you're looking forward at this view, and you're like, the sun's setting, it's so beautiful, I want to cry even, and I don't want to miss it. And it's like, you can sit there and enjoy it, but when you turn around and you see that there's a door waiting for you, you must unlock it, and you must know that beyond that door there are more views that are just as beautiful as that. And the views in life are experiences we have in life that are so beautiful and fulfilling that they literally make us want to cry of joy and happiness. And I can't express enough how important that is for you to understand. Please, please understand that you cannot miss this opportunity for yourself, because I love you, Scorpio, and I love all of this passion you have for life and life itself in general. Just don't lose it. I'm so proud of you. I really am like trying to hold back. I held back some tears a little bit in this reading. So if y'all were here right now, I just want to give every Scorpio or anyone who resonated with this reading just a big fucking hug. Honestly, just doing the hands. And I think y'all just need a second to either get a hug, give a hug, and just breathe for a second. You don't have to breathe with the hug, but like, just have a moment to breathe. Enjoy it. You're allowed to enjoy the view before you move on to the next opportunity, because you understand that there are more views like that in the future. And I'm repeating myself. I'm gonna end it there. I really love this reading. Trust your gut, trust yourself, trust the subconscious that is calmly calling towards you. It shouldn't feel anxious. It should feel like, okay, like you're like, okay, I'm gonna give in to this. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry for anyone on Twitch that is getting like this. Twitch is handing you one of these because my bitrate is literally giving Twitch this. I don't know what's happening. I've handled everything on my end, and it's Twitch at this point, but it's Monday. I think they end up doing maintenance on Mondays, so we may have to account for that. But luckily, the recording does not get messed up, so thank you, OBS. Shout out to OBS again. Fucking love OBS. Thank you for being here. That's all I have for you. And follow me on all of the various social medias if you want to stay updated on any of my content. It should be all in the description of this video, and yada yada yada. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night, wherever you are in this planet Earth of ours. And as always, I hope to see y'all in the next one. Peace.